Huge blow to Keir Starmer as Sun megapoll shows Brits think Rishi Sunak is a better leader and reject Labour's woke ideas. Brits are opposed to explicit sex education in class, have strong views on what a woman is and are proud of our nation's past. An exclusive megapoll for The Sun reveals that Rishi Sunak is more popular than Sir Keir Starmer, including among women and even in Scotland. The PM beats Sir Softy amongst the over 50s, across the South and Midlands and, most painfully for Labour, amongst working-class voters. In a wake-up call for all our politicians, it shows the government's Rwanda scheme is popular and the country split over whether to ignore Eurojudges frustrating Britain's small boats clampdown. In more bad news for Starmer, only a third of Brits agree with him that a woman can have a penis. In contrast, 47% of voters do not believe a trans woman is a woman, according to our survey by YouGov. We asked 3,000 Brits last week what they thought about the state of British politics and what will happen at the next general election. That's about 3 times the size of most opinion polls, for a more accurate take of the national temperature. And the results will come as a shock to social justice activists, who have called for Britain to apologise for its past. For every Brit embarrassed about our history, more than 2 say they are proud of our great country. Just 18% of Brits say we should be ashamed of our past, compared to the 45% who want to cheer for it. That rockets to 73% of Tory voters saying they are proud, but more Labour voters are ashamed of British history than supportive, splitting 26% proud to 33% red-faced. The public are equally forthright on whether kids should be taught graphic sex education classes, as some are pushing. Following outcry about explicit sex acts in the classroom, ministers are due to update guidance on what is appropriate. Parents appear to be in favor of sticking to the birds and the bees. The country is almost universally behind safe sex, pregnancy, and healthy relationships being on the curriculum, supported by around 9 out of 10 voters. But over 7 in 10 are against lessons about different sexual positions. People are more divided, however, on whether transgender identities have a place in schools, with 51% of voters saying they do, with 36% opposed. But amongst those voters who propelled Boris Johnson to his landslide victory in 2019, more than half, 54%, are opposed to transgender classes. That might explain why the Tories have been so vocal on trans issues of late, with the PM making it clear he has no trouble explaining that a woman is an adult biological female. The issue of gender is far from a one-off, seeing those that voted Tory in 2019 taking a far tougher stance on cultural issues than the wider public. Those voters, which included tens of thousands of Labour to Tory switchers last time, will be crucial to deciding who holds the keys to No 10 next time round. Nowhere are differences clearer than on migration, small boats, and efforts by Strasbourg judges to frustrate deportations. There is widespread anger at the government's handling of the small boats issue across the country, from young and old, leave and remain, as well as men and women. More than 3/4 of the public say ministers are handling the crisis badly, with just over 1 in 10 voters saying they deserve credit. However, attempts to deter the boats appear to be going down better with voters. The plan to deport small boat migrants to Rwanda is popular, with 46% of the public backing it, 38% are opposing. But that soars to a massive 3/4 of Tory 2019 voters who support the idea. A majority of the public want the UK to remain signed up to the European Convention on Human Rights, with only 27% saying we should pull out. But 55% of Tory 2019 voters say quit the Strasbourg court. On matters of migration, 40% of the public say we should always follow the court's rulings and change our policies to reflect them. Yet 37% say the court should be ignored and Britain should stick to her guns. This rockets to 70% of 2019 Tory voters who say rulings should be ignored. The government won its massive majority in 2019 because it was able to hold together a very broad coalition of voters across the country. Our poll says those voters have not quite abandoned the Tories yet despite a year of political mayhem. Amongst the general public, almost 40% believe the Tories are done for at the next election, with just 29% thinking they still have a chance. But crucially for the government, however, more than half of 2019 Tory voters, 51%, believe that they can turn it around. Sir Softa lived up to his nickname as he licked a melting 99 ice cream on a visit to Blackpool while campaigning for this week's local elections. PM Rishi Sunak gave him the moniker after saying he went easy on violent criminals during his 5-year spell as Director of Public Prosecutions, the country's top prosecutor. Tomorrow we reveal the findings of our poll on law and order. As climate change extremists threaten to derail the King's coronation, our mega survey will make uncomfortable reading for cops and lenient judges. All figures are from YouGov plc. Total sample size was 3,031 adults online, between 26 to 28 April 2023. They have been weighted and are representative of all GB adults.